I still feel my hands shaking as I write these words. Not out of fear, but because of the overwhelming shock that hasn't quite settled after the biggest revelation of my life. The wife I once vowed to protect had lied about having cancer just to force me into marrying her. 2 hours ago, I accidentally overheard her, Laura, laughing in the kitchen, holding her phone, talking to her best friend. He'll never leave me now. He'll never dare to leave me. Her voice was arrogant, confident to the point of being insane. I froze. I couldn't believe my ears. My name is Brian, 32 years old. I'm a mechanic. My life was simple. I worked hard, had beer on the weekends, and enjoyed the little things with the woman I loved. We met 2 years ago at a barbecue at a friend's house. Laura, 29, worked at a mall. Her smile was something I couldn't take my eyes off. From that moment, everything felt like a romantic movie. We fell in love, shared struggles, and then everything changed 3 months ago. Laura came home in tears, shaking as if the world was falling apart. I, I have stage 3 breast cancer, Brian. I couldn't say anything. All I could do was hold her tight. My heart felt like it dropped into my stomach. She showed me a stack of papers from the hospital, with the logo, signatures. It all looked real. Laura was terrified of losing her hair, of dying, of being alone. I just want us to get married before I start chemotherapy, so I can have one perfect day in case, in case I don't make it. Can you imagine what I thought? I loved her. I wanted to protect her. And when the person you love tells you they're facing death, you don't question them. You don't doubt them. You act. 2 weeks later, we had a small wedding, just close family and friends. But something felt off. Malene, Laura's best friend, wouldn't look me in the eye the entire time. She stood quietly in the corner of the garden, gripping her glass of water. At the time, I thought she was just emotional. But now I know that look wasn't emotion, it was guilt. Last week, I offered to go with Laura to the hospital for her first treatment. She freaked out. You don't get it. Do you think I want to see your pitying look? You're controlling me. She threw a glass across the room. I jumped back, not wanting to make things worse. I told myself, it's probably just the pressure of the illness making her act this way. But yesterday, when I tried to order food through her laptop, since mine was dead, a WhatsApp notification popped up. Laura, this has gone too far. Brian deserves to know the truth. The sender, Malene. I opened the chat, and my world shattered. Each message was like a knife cutting into my soul. How Laura faked the symptoms, links to detailed articles on cancer symptoms, how she doctored the hospital paperwork. Malene begging, you can't keep deceiving him like this. I screenshot everything. My hands didn't shake. My eyes didn't blink. Something inside me died right then. Trust, love, compassion, buried alive under the blatant lies. This morning I called Malene. She cried on the phone. I'm sorry, Brian. I told Laura to stop. She planned this a long time ago. She printed fake documents from the office of her cousin who works at a clinic. She has never been sick. I didn't hang up. I didn't say anything. I just went silent. When Laura came home that afternoon, she was smiling, kissed me on the cheek, and said she was tired from chemotherapy. Then she pretended to run into the bathroom to vomit. I stood there, said nothing, did nothing. And then, like a final knife wound, she took a call from Kathleen, another friend, and I stood behind the hallway, listening to it all. He really believes it. He even asked when we want to have kids. This is working so well. He's blindly in love with you. I hit record. Coldly, no anger, no pain, just emptiness. She thought I was trapped, that I would never leave a wife who survived cancer. What she didn't know was that I had already called the lawyer. I had gathered evidence. I was prepared. She didn't know. Her false dream was about to pop like a soap bubble. If anyone ever told you that living with someone you know is lying to you is impossible, they've never felt what I've been going through every day. Every morning, Laura wakes up, stretches, then starts her patient routine. She takes a pill bottle from the drawer. Inside are gummy vitamins for adults, but she pretends to swallow them like they're expensive chemotherapy drugs. Then she leans back in the chair, groans lightly. I'm so tired. Could you make me some ginger tea? I pretended to believe it all. I smiled, gently stroked her hair. Long, thick, shiny hair. The hair that should have fallen out 3 weeks ago. I was acting, because I knew she was acting too. I began documenting every little detail. Time, actions, words, expressions. Every time Laura said, "Can you take me to the hospital next week?" but then canceled at the last minute. Every time she asked for a special meal after chemotherapy, I wrote it down. I recorded when she told her mom on the phone about the horrible side effects. I secretly filmed her shopping, going to the salon, eating out with friends, on days she should have been receiving treatment. I didn't do this out of hate. I did it because I needed evidence, for both the court and myself, that I wasn't crazy, that I wasn't the one who abandoned my wife when she was sick. I couldn't help but feel a mix of disbelief and anger as I watched Laura, the woman I had married who had claimed to be fighting cancer, continue to deceive me, all while feigning sickness. Last week, she snapped at me because I forgot to buy her post-chemo detox juice, an expensive addition she'd added to her list of essentials. She screamed, "Do you have any idea what I'm going through? I don't feel like you care about my illness at all." I apologized. I hugged her. I kissed her forehead. "I'm sorry, next time I'll remember." That evening, I quietly sat in my office and opened the security camera footage. While I was washing the dishes, Laura was live streaming her autumn skincare tips on her secondary account. There wasn't a trace of stress or illness on her face, just a fake smile and a perfect layer of makeup. Malene, Laura's best friend, started helping me. Maybe out of guilt, maybe because of her conscience. She sent me their old conversations. "Brian will never leave someone going through chemotherapy. See? Everyone's showing sympathy. It's working. I'm about to get him to have kids. Gotta tie him down." I saved everything. Last week, Laura bragged about her 3 p.m. chemo session at Memorial Hospital. I drove straight there, parked across from the main entrance. I didn't see her, but at 3:17 p.m., Laura appeared, not from the hospital, but from a fashion store in the mall, shopping Chanel bags, smiling brightly with Kathleen. I snapped pictures, clear shots with GPS data, time, and the smile that should have been absent due to her illness. The final blow came when I opened her laptop to check an email. A small request from Laura, asking, "I'm so tired, can you check this for me?" But when I opened the downloads folder, a Word file popped up. Speech for Cancer Recovery Draft. I opened it, and it was a literary masterpiece. Phrases like, "the painful journey," "Brian, the greatest man in the world," and "love heals my cells." The most chilling part, at the end of the document, a reminder. Read at my sister's birthday party, with parents, boss, and friends in attendance. Make sure to cry at the third paragraph. I froze. She didn't just want to keep me. She wanted to build a monument to her lie. An image so beautiful that no one would dare question it. Every guest at that party would become a living witness to her deception. I transferred money from our joint account into my personal one. My lawyer said I was doing the right thing. "Let her take the stage herself," he said. "And when the spotlight hits, all you need to do is pull back the curtain and everything will come crashing down." I'm counting down. 3 weeks left. The recovery announcement party. She thinks it's her victory day, but in reality, it will be the funeral for her lies. The day of Laura's recovery announcement party had arrived, and I had been preparing for it for a month. She called it the good news party, but in the message she sent to her friends, she made it clear. "This will be the perfect finale. Everyone will believe me. Brian will never dare to leave me now." I arrived early playing the role of the dutiful husband, helping to decorate with balloons and a cake. Soft pink, the symbol of breast cancer victory. Ironically, everything was too perfect, exactly how she had planned every detail. Laura wore a white dress, light makeup, and a pink bow in her hair, looking like the leading lady in a sappy TV drama. Guests arrived one by one. Her family, my family, co-workers, friends, and her boss, all of whom had contributed to the treatment fund. About 20 people. All of them had cried, prayed, and donated for a lie. At exactly 3 p.m., Laura stood in the middle of the living room, holding a glass of champagne, smiling like a reborn angel. Brian and I have some wonderful news to share with everyone. I walked up beside her. All eyes turned to me. Laura looked at me, ready to continue, but I raised my hand, signaling for her to stop. That's right, I said, my voice calm. We do have some real news. But before Laura continues, I think she should explain a few things. I pulled out my phone, opened the album titled Lies, which had all the pictures and recordings ready. I connected it to the TV via HDMI cable, which had been set up beforehand. The room went dead silent. The first photo, Laura shopping at the mall, smiling brightly, holding a designer handbag, on the very day she claimed she was at chemotherapy. The second photo, a salon picture, a photo from the beach with Kathleen, a gym selfie, all time-stamped, GPS verified, matching her supposed treatment schedule. Next was a screenshot of a chat between Laura and Malene, where she wrote, "Just keep the act up for a few more weeks. After the party, no one will doubt anything." Finally, the audio recording, Laura laughing through the phone, whispering, "He'll never leave me. Look at his face when he married me. The value of every tear is like gold." Laura's face drained of color. Her mouth moved as if she couldn't speak. I looked straight into her eyes. "There's no cancer, is there, Laura? No chemotherapy, no doctor named Barrett. It was just a script, and I was the stupid side character in your play." Someone in the room choked back a sob. Laura's mother dropped her wine glass, and it shattered on the floor. "I've called all the doctors named Barrett in the city. None of them work in oncology. I went to the hospital you said you were treated at. There was no appointment. And those treatment bills? A hospital logo downloaded from Google." Laura screamed, shrieking like an animal cornered. "You're destroying me." The night of the party, I quietly pulled the divorce papers from my jacket pocket. They had been prepared in advance. "I'm not destroying anything. I'm just stopping you from continuing to destroy me. And everyone else." I turned to Kathleen, Laura's best friend, the one who had helped cover for her all this time. "Do you have anything to say?" Kathleen stepped forward, trembling, as if walking into the final moments of a nightmare. "Everyone, I'm sorry. Laura told me she needed Brian to commit, that if she didn't fake being sick, he would never propose." Whispers spread throughout the room, a silent earthquake. Laura screamed, trying to rush to grab my phone. Her brother held her back. I stayed still, like a calm witness in the middle of the chaos. She screamed, "You're doing this in front of everyone?" I responded, "Because you've been lying to them." I placed the divorce papers on the table. "Make your choice, Laura. Sign it now, in front of everyone. Or I send all this evidence to everyone you know, every place you've ever worked, and to the local media. You have the choice. But the truth? It doesn't." Laura signed. Her hand trembled like a leaf in winter. Her face was pale. No one spoke. Her mother turned away. Her father walked out and didn't return. I left the party in silence. No one stopped me. No one said goodbye. Just the sound of a door closing behind me and the storm of anger crashing down on someone who once thought they were untouchable. The morning after, when the truth was exposed at the recovery party, I woke not to an alarm, but because my phone exploded with notifications. 47 missed calls, nearly 100 messages. Laura had disappeared from the house immediately after signing the divorce papers, but she didn't disappear from social media. On the contrary, she was diving into a desperate counterattack. 9:02 a.m., she posted a long status on Facebook. "I'm not perfect, but I love Brian with all my heart. He twisted everything, made up lies, humiliated me in front of my family just to leave me easily. I was wrong to let the fear of losing love turn into a lie, but I don't deserve to be treated like trash." Within 20 minutes, the post received over 150 comments. But instead of sympathy, people were angry. I did nothing. I just posted 3 screenshots. The conversation she had with Kathleen about the fake illness plan, the image of the medical form downloaded from Google, the chat, "He'll never leave me now." 5 minutes later, Laura deleted the post. At 10:41 a.m., I received a message from Laura's cousin, who had once been the main sponsor of the treatment fund. "Brian, thank you. I feel like such a fool. But now I feel relieved knowing the truth. At 11:20 a.m., Laura's old friend Malene posted a nearly 3-minute TikTok detailing Laura's entire deceit. Not just the fake cancer, but also how Laura had faked an injury to claim insurance money, secretly took money from their group's outing fund, and even stole the Netflix account password. The video went viral in the local community. People shared it, commented, tagged their friends, calling it one of the most twisted scams ever. I thought that was the end of it. But later that afternoon, Laura showed up at my company, screaming in the parking lot. Wearing a brand new pair of Lululemon leggings, waving her phone around, she yelled, "You're destroying my life!" Security intervened. Another employee started recording. Within an hour, the video was all over the neighborhood's Facebook page. One person commented, "This is even better than a Netflix script." I didn't need to do anything. The community had already handed down its judgment. That evening, my mom asked me, "Do you feel guilty, seeing the woman you once loved like this?" I looked at her, honestly. I only regret one thing, that I didn't expose her sooner, before she fooled so many good people. The next morning, I received a message from Laura's boss. "We've seen the video and the photos of her at the spa and gym while on paid sick leave. She was fired this morning." Not because I reported her, but because the community had filed complaints. A week later, I heard Laura move back in with her mom, but she had to leave again. The neighbors started whispering. People in the neighborhood started avoiding her, and her sister, who had always supported Laura, spoke up. I was making coffee when I heard car horns. I stepped outside and saw Laura arguing loudly with her sister Natalie, right in front of my house. "Did you use the money for my kid's treatment last year to go shopping? You've lied to all of us." Laura screamed, I just don't want to lose Brian." Natalie yelled back, "You're not sick. You're crazy." I stood quietly on the porch, coffee in hand. I didn't intervene. I didn't need to. The truth was speaking for itself. I thought that after everything Laura had done to me, her downfall would be the day I felt victorious. But I was wrong. There was no feeling of victory, only a feeling that it was time to move on. Last week, after the argument with her sister right in front of my house, Laura disappeared from town. No one knew where she went. Some said she went to stay with an aunt in another state. Others said she was starting over. But no one cared to find out anymore. People were just too tired of having to constantly fix things for someone who never knew how to apologize. The divorce papers were signed a month ago. Yesterday, the court officially confirmed the divorce. I was granted full ownership of the assets, and luckily, no children were caught up in this mess. My lawyer said, "You're one of the few who got out in time, without losing everything." I didn't react. I just felt relieved. That evening, I sat in the living room, replaying an old recording, where Laura giggles while talking to Kathleen. "He'll never leave me now." I turned it off immediately, not because I was angry, but because I didn't need to hear it again. I've already moved on, and I'm not looking back. Becky, an old co-worker of mine, who had witnessed everything from a distance, texted me, "I'm really happy you got out of that. I don't know how you endured it." I replied, "I loved her so much, I forgot about myself. But now I remember. And I know true love shouldn't be paid for with lies." My mom, who had remained silent throughout this journey, hugged me during dinner. "You've done something not everyone has the courage to do. You faced it, you told the truth, and you let go." I smiled, for the first time not feeling bitter inside. Laura once said she built the lie because she was afraid of losing me. But she forgot. The man she wanted to keep was never the one who loved her out of pity. He was the one who loved her because of trust, because of honesty. Once she destroyed that, she couldn't keep anything. Every morning I still make coffee. I still drive to the familiar auto shop. But I don't feel heavy anymore. No more acting every day. Now I live authentically. And that is the greatest gift I've given myself. Today, while organizing the file cabinet, I found the wedding album, the one I thought I had thrown away. I opened it, flipping through the pages. A picture of Laura smiling brightly, a picture of me holding her hand, eyes full of trust, and a photo of Malene standing in the distance, her eyes full of sadness. I closed it. Not because I was angry, but because I don't need to keep the memory of a performance. I grabbed a lighter, went to the backyard, and let the wind carry it all away. She thought love was a chain, I used to believe that. Now I know. Love doesn't keep anyone by lies. It keeps them through freedom. I didn't win. I just survived. And that's enough. If you feel this story is worth spreading, like, subscribe, and share this video with your loved ones. Leave a comment. What would you do if you discovered the person you love created the perfect lie? Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next story. Goodbye.